So things just keep getting worse for Taylor Swift after a crazy twist that has fans in full meltdown mode, and the massive backlash doesn't seem to be slowing down anytime soon. So, as you all know, Taylor Swift just released a new album, and the reaction simply shows exactly how fragile her own, fan base has become, the Swifties. Now, instead of celebrating the people who once worshipped Taylor Swift, who are, instead of celebrating, are now calling her racist and homophobic. The same crowd that Taylor Swift spent years pandering to is ripping her apart simply because, well, she talked about wanting a family. And now Taylor Swift is stuck watching the woke mob that she built turn against her. Okay. So honestly, this insane meltdown is not about the music, and it's also not about, the quality of the album. It's just about ideology. Okay. So Taylor Swift made the bad choice of hinting that she wanted, normal things like a family, children, and a quiet life, apparently. And that was enough to send her online audience spiraling into chaos. And this is just sad here because it shows that social media activists are just calling her a MAGA supporter now, even though nothing in her past suggests that she's anything close to being a conservative. She even endorsed Kamala Harris last year, and she created this exact audience with her own pandering. Okay, but now that same audience turned around against her and started attacking her with the same viciousness that she once cheered on when it was aimed at her enemies. Okay, so basically the hypocrisy is obvious, but this time it's how cancel culture, how it's how it always works. Okay, so it's not, conservatives or, even right-wing audiences calling Taylor Swift racist or even homophobic. It's her own people, her base. You see, the woke activists out there are combing through her lyrics, looking for just anything that they can call offensive. Okay, they found it in the track where she had actually sang about, wanting a family and kids, and they twisted that into some sort of bizarre claim about white supremacy and stuff, and even racial homogeneity, whatever it is. But the criticism is not coming from people who never liked her. It's coming from the very same fans who once treated her like a saint. You see, they were feeling betrayed because she isn't, parroting their slogans word for word and everything. And now it shows just how fragile this particular fan base, the Swifties, really are. Okay. So the funniest part about all of this is just watching the different leftist influencers just go ahead and melt down over nothing. Okay. So they're posting, long rants saying that, Swift is aligning herself with conservatives and MAGA, but just because, she didn't dedicate her album to, social justice talking points. Okay. And that's really sad right there. And it's showing that they're saying her lyrics are dangerous, that she's supporting racism, and that her silence on things like Palestine or even immigration makes her complicit in conservative politics. Okay. Yeah, that's no surprise right there, though. But imagine being so detached from reality that you take a love song about wanting kids and just twist it into some sort of manifesto for the right. I mean, that's where the Swifty cult right now has landed. Okay, and Swift is finally feeling what happens when you feed into this particular mob for far too long. Okay, so yeah, even the cult like obsession of her fans right now is starting to fracture. Where you see for years, Swifties have been treated like, an unstoppable army online, always just defending her, always worshiping her. But right now, that same energy is being turned against her. You see, you've got woke bloggers and even TikTok personalities going ahead and making hour-long breakdowns accusing Taylor Swift of misogyny, anti-blackness, and even fascism, all because, she didn't write, another political anthem. I mean, it just simply proves that when you build your career on woke activism, you're never pure enough. Okay, so yeah, there's always another purity test with these people, and Taylor Swift is failing hers in spectacular fashion. Okay, so this backlash also exposes the contradiction in her public image too, where Taylor Swift is not conservative and she never has been. Okay, she spent years promoting the left leaning politics and stuff, feminism, and even every progressive cause that she could attach her brand to. She even did endorse Democrat candidates herself. But the second she even hits at living a traditional life, the very audience that she catered to screams betrayal. Okay, so that's the insanity of this particular woke mindset. Now, they don't see nuance at all. They don't allow, independence, and they can't even handle the smallest deviation from their script. Taylor Swift actually helped create that audience, and now she's learning what it's like when the mob actually decides to go ahead and eat one of its own. All right. And that's pretty sad. But at the same time, it's not surprising because the mob isn't criticizing her album because it's bad music. They're criticizing it because it's not political enough. That's the bar right now. Okay, you can't just, write about relationships or even family and stuff without inserting a paragraph about Palestine or even the rights of transformers. But otherwise, you're labeled a conservative. Okay, so Swift is apparently now guilty of silence in the eyes of her own people. Now, they're demanding that she go ahead and take stances on every global issue. And if she doesn't, she's called every Islamphobic and book. And that's how broken these online communities have become. Okay, you see, they don't even care about music anymore. Right now, it's just all about politics, and she's just the latest scapegoat right now. But even one clip is making rounds shows Swift's facial expression change when another artist actually thanks God at an awards show. Okay, so that particular old reaction has resurfaced because people are now, reinterpreting it as proof that, she's secretly against religion or secretly bitter, okay, or secretly, something else. Like everything she does, every lyric she writes, every old video is now being re-examined under a microscope by the same crowd that used to worship her. And this is sad, by the way. And all of it is because she dared to go ahead and say she wanted a husband and kids. That's enough to brand her as an enemy in woke circles. And it's proof of how shallow their loyalty really is. Okay. So basically, Taylor Swift is not being canceled by, conservatives. She's actually being devoured by her own fan base that she created. Now, that's the big irony that nobody wants to admit. And for years, conservatives were just mocked for, pointing out the insanity of the woke cancel culture. Not just on conservatives, but those who are even down the middle who wants to be unaffiliated with any ideology and stuff. And now it's happening to one of the biggest pop stars in the world. And the reaction from many people outside her cult is laughter, because she built this audience and she also embraced the same outrage mobs, the same cancel campaigns, the same rules and stuff. And now those rules are being used against her. And she's finally seeing exactly how impossible it is to live up to them. Okay. So honestly, what also makes this collapse so interesting is how fast it happened. You see, Taylor Swift was untouchable just a few weeks ago, and she was everywhere. Okay, she was the global superstar who could do no wrong. Then she drops an album with lyrics about just wanting a husband and family, normal things, and suddenly she's the villain of her own story. That's how quickly the woke audiences will turn on you. There's no loyalty at all, no forgiveness, not even any perspective. They'll build you up, and the moment you actually fail their ever shifting purity test, they will burn you down. Okay, so Taylor Swift is just learning that lesson the hard way right now. Okay, but some conservatives are also trying to spin this into proof that Taylor Swift is just secretly on their side and that she's a hidden conservative icon. That right there, honestly, is ridiculous. Taylor Swift has never been conservative. I'm not sure she will be. I don't even know if she'll be down the road in the middle. But she's the same on one that she's always been. The only difference now is that she's being targeted by the same people that she actually used to go ahead and stand alongside. Now, the idea that she's suddenly some sort of MAGA hero is for some wishful thinking. Now, if anything, this whole fiasco shows that trying to win approval from the woke mob is just always losing a game. And Taylor Swift actually played that game, and she's losing it now. All right. So yeah, the attacks against her are cruel, but they're also predictable. You see, once you give your audience, permission to go ahead and attack others over ideology, you just simply go ahead and give them permission to attack you as well when you step out of line. Okay, so basically that's what's happening here. Taylor Swift is now on the receiving end of the exact culture that she once empowered. Okay, and honestly, while she may not deserve every lie that's being spread about her, well, she absolutely actually seeing firsthand the experience of realizing that the mob that you feed will eventually come for you and come against you. That's the reality of the online culture war right now, and it's the reality that she also helped to create. Okay, so the situation also proves that the cult itself of celebrity is collapsing. You see, fans no longer see artists as musicians. They see them as political pawns and everything. If you don't carry their message, you're the enemy. Swift isn't being judged by her music anymore. Okay, so she's just being judged by whether or not she aligns with the most extreme corners of online activism. And when she actually fails to go ahead and deliver, the punishment is immediate and brutal. So that right there is just more ideological servitude, and Swift is discovering what happens when you actually can't keep up with those particular demands. Okay, so basically, the most striking part of this whole mess is that Swift is not saying anything radical. She's not endorsing Trump. She's not even writing songs about politics and stuff. She's not even making some grand cultural statement. Okay, she's just simply expressing normal human desires, like wanting a family. Okay, that's it. I mean, let's be honest. She's getting older. Okay, she's in her 30s right now. She's not going to spend the rest of her career going ahead and talking and preaching politics and everything, trying to appease a particular mob and stuff. No, not at all. She wants something. She wants a family. She wants kids, and she enjoys being engaged to apparently the love of her life, and she's hoping and she's looking to marry. And somehow that's become offensive to her own fans. If that doesn't show exactly how deranged the online left has become, nothing will. Okay, so yeah, the fact that Swift is being accused of every ist and phobe in the books and stuff for wanting kids shows exactly how poisonous this culture has become. Okay, so Taylor Swift is stuck now. If she doubles down and defends herself, her fan base will implode even further. Now, if she apologizes and grovels, she'll look pathetic, and it won't even save her, because apologies she's never satisfied this particular woke mob. Now, either way, she loses, and that's the perfect example of why you never bend the knee to this particular audience. Okay, so basically, there's no winning. There's no grace. There's only destruction. And Taylor Swift is learning that in real time. And right now is just exposing the entire insanity of the culture that she once embraced and helped create. But at the end of the day, I mean, this is a story about consequences. Taylor Swift courted the woke crowd and she built her brand around their approval. And right now, they're the ones that are tearing her apart. You see, she's not the victim of conservatives. She's the victim of some vast conspiracy. And she's the victim of her own decisions. The mob right now doesn't love you and it doesn't respect you. It only uses you until you stop being useful. And then it devours you. Now, that's what's happening to Taylor Swift right now, and no amount of damage control is going to go ahead and stop it and save her. So let me know your thoughts about this in the comments below. Be sure to smash the like button, share the video far wide across social media. Subscribe to the channel, turn on the bell for future uploads, notifications, and I'll see you all in the next one. Until then, peace.